No margarita this week?
I don't know. I feel like I could.
You just had a cappuccino. You can't follow a cappuccino with a margarita.
You can't?
I don't think so. Is it?
Who wrote the rules?
And greetings. This is the Long in the Boot podcast, the podcast coming to you from the heel of the boot of Southwest Louisiana. I am your host, G. Long. Sitting across the way is my every other Sunday date, Deb.
Hello.
Hang on.
So quick.
I know.
So soon.
As soon as I started talking, I noticed it.
I heard it.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, well, what are you going to do?
Because I've heard your voice for so long.
Oh, God.
I knew immediately. Shut up. All right, do your spiel.
My spiel?
Your spiel.
My spiel. Yeah, I already said the Long in the Boot stuff. But hey, if you want to reach the Long in the Boot podcast, email longintheboot@gmail.com. And the phone number is 337-502-9011. And the website, which is gradually coming together.
I saw you did some things. I was
did a
very
couple things.
excited.
It's still longintheboot.com. I'm not giving that up. Here soon, longintheboot.net will also point to it. And
for no reason
at all, but I want those. One day somebody's going to want that, and they're going to give me billions of dollars for it.
Greedy bastard.
That's right. And anyway, I'm working on it. It's coming together. It'll have video soon.
Capability?
It has capability now. Now I just have to actually do the video.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
And I'm still debating on the style of video.
Oh, your creation.
Yeah, and also the equipment. It may be that the camera I have is only good maybe for like close up one person talking directly to the camera.
Well, then what, we'd have to decide which person would get the camera?
Possibly, but that's we could just set up a station. I could actually set up a little station.
What the hell does that mean?
A place where you could just do your video and then we can edit it however you want it edited. Basically, it would look at you while
like
you
a confessional?
No, it would be just like all these people who get on and look at the camera and yell at you, about stuff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't yell.
I don't watch those people.
Well, I don't either, but I'm not going to yell at people, but then you can add to it. The problem is the format of the camera that I have does not do well once you come out far enough to get both of us in the picture at the same time.
Oh, I see, because we're so large.
Well, it's because the room is not big enough. That's part of it, but also because the camera is made for 3 to 5 feet away, but to get both people in.
All right, wait. Okay, so stop.
Okay.
What are you saying? You have to buy something?
Possibly.
I'm
gonna try. I'm gonna try the.
Ladies, this is how the men do it. We have our own techniques to buying stuff, but this is how the men do it. I start by moving something, and that creates a space or a need for something else.
Right. Or you buy something that's not the right color to go with the things that are around
and then you have to change.
Sure.
That's the justification.
That's the women's way.
Yes. And we just heard an example of the men's way. All right.
Which is I do not have the technology to do that I wish to do.
Okay, so you always have to be goal-oriented. So what's the outcome? Is that we get to be on camera and do this?
We get to do videos and maybe make commentary on
Well, of course, your
things.
creative process is a little slower.
Well, I have this other thing.
All right.
I don't want to.
I hear the rain again.
I know.
Okay.
Here comes the rain.
We're in a swamp
again.
right now.
But
we are in the heel of the boot, so
anyway,
the fact that we're in a swamp is not unusual.
No, you got to pour water out of the boot every once in a while.
Not at all.
But anyway, so video is hopefully coming together and soon. And what I'd like to do actually is make commentary on certain video clips that I see.
Yes, and your capability.
Right.
Needs to happen.
Really, what the problem is my life and my job are cutting into my podcast and video time.
I think video games are cutting into your podcast time.
Well, that's work.
Okay. That is so not true.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So future stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. All right.
That went way too long.
It did. I wanted to first say, about the tornadoes that came through this past week. It was terrible. And Deb and I,
very scary.
And all of the people here that work at the Long in the Boot Studios, all, best prayers and wishes and all that stuff for folks, because we had
a lot of cleanup and
friends that have just gotten the house back together, and it's jacked up again. Yeah. It was a pretty horrific thing and a near thing for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, it went quite cut a path.
It did. It cut a swath.
Yes, and there are a lot of people out volunteering and helping again, as they always do.
Yes. And when people say, "Why do you live in the country?" It's like, this is why, because the people out here,
I'm laughing at your voice.
I know that wasn't. Maybe I should have done it more. Why do you people in the country continue?
Now you're making fun of a whole nother group.
Yeah, well, I got to make fun of somebody, don't I?
I don't know. Do you? The world is a hard place.
Here, I can. A palate cleanser. Putin's a dick. There.
Oh, all right. You feel
that's
better
so much
now.
better.
So, I am just so lost, and I have notes in front of me, and I'm still not sure what you're doing.
About what?
About today. About our date. What is our topic du jour?
Well, the topic du jour is something that we watched a movie recently that we watched a long time ago, and it's been 20 years since that movie came out.
Been 2 decades.
And that movie is Minority Report.
Yes.
And all of the crazy things that couldn't possibly happen that they show you in that movie.
Well, it's their prediction of the future. Well, not their prediction of the future, actually.
Well, actually, originally it was a book by Philip K. Dick. I know.
He's like Putin.
You know what? He had balls. He didn't change his name.
That's
that Dick had balls
and wrote under it.
But his short stories are phenomenal. And for those of you who like to read, all 5 of you.
See, now I'm going to point out every time you make an insulting remark to somebody, I'm going to do the woke thing.
But if you're not a reader, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you are, Philip K. Dick, you should definitely find his short stories, because so many of the movies that we've seen over the years,
with science fiction
type stuff, it's Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
It's stunning, actually, how many different things.
20 years ago when we watched that film,
we were like, whoa,
that's going to happen one day. That's going to happen one day. And of course, over the decades now, when something technology
actually 20
comes
years
along,
ago when we watched it, we probably were like, oh, wow, man. Oh, that could so happen.
That's it. You and your voices. You need to stop it. So,
dude. Okay.
Of course, we thought we'd revisit that because so many new things are coming out and at such a rapid pace that every time it happens, we go, oh my God, that's like Minority Report.
Yeah.
Is so, and where is it going from here?
And it's pretty frightening.
It is pretty frightening.
With all the discussion of open chat GPT and how colleges now are freaking out because they're not going to be able to know whether somebody actually wrote something or not. And what I would say, first of all, is, when all these politicians, put out books, they're not writing them, right? So what's the difference between
hiring somebody to do it, a ghostwriter,
and Chat GPT?
Okay, well then the Chat GPT then is putting ghostwriters out of business.
Hey, buggy whips, baby,
and artists who are actually creating their own work and
but they're creating new work with Chat GPT.
They are, but it's not a human.
Slope.
It's the
remember when rap first started and they were using all kinds of cuts from other songs and people were getting kind of pissed off. Mm-hmm. Right at first, it was cool. It was okay.
Well, we're just going to be a digital human interface.
And then they called it sampling. I'm not stealing your work. I'm sampling it.
And then we're going to pass some copyright laws to help preserve
I'm
that.
not stealing your car, sir. I'm just sampling it. I'll bring it back, I swear.
Okay. Well, those slippery slope arguments. Never really
But
work.
if you haven't seen Minority Report, you definitely should watch it.
Oh, sure.
It's on Netflix right now, in fact, this very moment.
Okay. So you want them to go do that now?
No, wait till after the podcast.
All right. So what did you want to give a intro little clip to get the up to speed on what this movie's about?
Well, I
let the audience know. We need some sort of montage.
Imagine a world without murder.
I lost my best friend.
I lost my aunt.
I lost my dad.
I lost my father.
I lost my wife.
Just 6 years ago, the homicide rate in this country had reached epidemic proportions. It seemed that only a miracle could stop the bloodshed. But instead of one miracle, we were given 3, the precognitives. Within just 1 month under the pre-crime program, the murder rate in the District of Columbia was reduced 90%.
They were going to be waiting for me in the car.
He was going to rape me.
I was going to be stabbed.
Right here.
Within a year, pre-crime effectively stopped murder in our nation's capital.
In the 6 years we've been conducting our little experiment, there hasn't been a single murder.
And now pre-crime can work for you.
We want to make absolutely certain that every American can bank on the utter infallibility of this system, and to ensure that what keeps us safe will also keep us free.
Pre-crime? It works.
It works.
It works.
It works.
It works.
On Tuesday, April 22nd, vote yes on the National Pre-Crime Initiative.
I love that little part at the end with the kids.
Yes.
That's so.
Well,
get your jab.
That's why we do it. We do it for the kids.
Yeah.
To save them.
It works.
It would be, yes, utter infallibility.
Pre-crime. It works.
Okay.
Anyway, basically the premise of the movie, for those of you who haven't seen it, you can plug your ears or something, I guess. But, and I don't want to give away anything. I guess we don't have to give away anything,
No,
do we?
you don't have to give anything away. We were here to talk about the technology. I don't know why you want
light
to.
spoilers. Well, I just wanted to say that the idea is that they could predict crime based on the mental faculties of some people who have some,
run these little
some kind of power.
digital movies and they
anyway,
record them. And
so they lock people up, put them on ice for what they would have done. But of course, that brings in all kinds of questions, which was Philip K. Dick's point back when he wrote the short story in the 50s.
Not ever thinking that they could actually predict what someone was thinking and how they would behave, let alone see the action occur.
Well, free will.
Free will is the issue.
How can you possibly predict the future when human thought and action comes into it? Because we have free will.
And you can choose not to do it. But they swear once the precogs see it and once the film happens, it will occur.
But
without fault.
But as anyway, so there you go. That's the idea, that they can predict
But
crime.
the technology
But it's the technology
in the, future,
in the movie that is the terrifying thing. Like the eye scans.
Yes.
Everywhere you
go. And then
you're being eye scanned constantly.
All the ads are catered towards you. So when you walk into the store, hi, G Long, how are you?
Hi, G Long. Are you looking for those boots again?
Yes. Are you back to buy some boots?
Hi, G Long. Are you buying chips again? Oh, my goodness. You know those aren't good for you.
Do you want me to run a quick body scan and tell you what your cholesterol level is?
Hi, G Long. Your sugar seems to be high.
Actually, when you think
would
about
you like a shot?
You actually, it would be easier, right, if you got all that done at the grocery store.
Right.
I don't want to have to go back
just a voice
and do blood.
Every time you grab the cookies and it's like, G Long, you know you shouldn't eat those.
That's right. The little voice in your head.
Wow. It's just like all the movies where you had the little angel and the little devil pop up on your shoulders.
Yeah, only they're digital now.
And they're both devils.
Well, no, the problem is you're the devil. You see. So those are two angels trying to straighten your ass up.
If you eat those cookies, you'll die.
All right. So the eye readers, the eye scan readers, and of course we already have that.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's a thing, and they're just going to expand. That's the point. The technology that's there is just doing nothing but expanding at a rapid rate, exponentially.
But people want it to. There are people who are fully invested in.
Well, it's
control.
As we've always said before, it is going to happen.
Well, let's use COVID as an example.
Wait.
Of control.
Oh, of control.
And how technology can play into that. Because, currently they're talking about how COVID destroyed the economy, right? COVID is responsible for all the problems.
The government shutting everything down was responsible for that.
Right? Isn't that what really did it?
Yes.
People said, oh, I'm not working for that much money anymore. Well, because you got little bennies. You got your your stimmies.
Everybody made so much more money during that year.
Not working. Mm-hmm. And then nobody wants to go back to it.
No.
For the price they were working before. But you caused that, government.
Yes.
By shutting down the important places like restaurants and bars.
Society became dissatisfied, out of balance, and now they are trying to get us back, and it's not going to happen.
No, especially now because young people, but when I say young people, I mean from the videos in the clips that I've seen of people in their 30s and maybe early 40s talking about how they don't get satisfaction from their jobs.
Oh, at work.
Yeah, they want to work for satisfaction.
For
apparently money is not the issue. It's satisfaction.
Well, the people who aren't satisfied by their income, then I guess that's fine. Well, seek out happiness.
But it's
if you can live on it, great.
But that's the thing is when we were growing up, what did you work for? Why'd you go to work?
Paycheck.
The money.
Yes.
Why? Why did you want that money?
Because you want to buy the stuff.
You want to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now apparently that's not the most important thing.
Well, so we're just
the most important thing is to be fulfilled.
People are trying to find balance. Can I do both?
I need to be fulfilled.
Well, can you do both? The head and the heart, baby. That's all you're trying to make both happy.
Oh.
See.
So people would be willing to work for $10 an hour if they were satisfied.
If it was a job that I guess gave them what they needed. See, if they were materialistically not able to live at the level which they had become accustomed to, then they would probably be dissatisfied. But until that happens, they don't know that.
That's
so
true.
They might have an ideal in their head, thinking there's something else. Grass is always greener, when in reality, you got a job, you're paying your bills. Can you go on vacation every once in a while? Do you know?
Right. And so there are companies now working for that. They're looking to help us.
Okay.
And they just recently had a seminar. It was sponsored by Atlantic Magazine.
Okay.
And they had a doctor on there who brought a video. Now, I don't have the video because, it's a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And but I do have the audio, which is just as good because you can make an image in your head that belongs to you. And anyway, so
until the precogs get it.
First, there's actually two clips. The first one, I want you to listen to the guy who introduces the video as he talks to these people as if they're children. Now, these are all scientists.
I was going to say, we're all grown-ups.
Right. And remember, this is supposed to be a positive, okay?
This morning, the owner of two of the most...
Crap, wrong one.
That's not. I think that was a negative then.
That was.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nicholas Thompson. I'm the CEO of The Atlantic, and I will be your moderator today. We are going to have an incredible session. Star of the show is Nita Farahani. She is a futurist and legal ethicist at Duke, and she's so smart and so interesting. You're going to learn a ton. This is how it's going to work. We're going to watch a short video. She's going to come on stage and talk. And then we're going to do a little Q&A, questions from the audience, and that'll be a wrap, and you'll leave enlightened and excited. So first off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
Fight crime.
And find love.
Huh.
It'll cover everything.
You're in the zone. Even you can't believe how productive you've been. Your memo is finished, your inbox is under control, and you're feeling sharper than you have in a decade. Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. But what's that unusual change in your brain activity when you're asleep? It started earlier in the month. You send a text message to your doctor with a mental swipe of your cursor. Could you take a quick look at my brain data? Anything to worry about? Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. You head home, jamming to the music, with your work-issued brain-sensing earbuds still in. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators.
There you go. Brainwave activity.
Why would you do that? I thought we were trying to be positive here.
Well, you're going to have to. Don't you see? It's just going to be just like the vaccine. The corporations are going to require you to allow brainwave monitoring while you're working.
But maybe a job there wouldn't be satisfying to me, so I wouldn't work for them.
Yeah, okay. Well, when jobs are so few and far between, and you want to
you're saying that's all we'd have.
Well,
robotic surveillance.
The future is going to be, first of all, you're going to have guaranteed universal basic income.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is all presupposing that we don't blow ourselves up in the coming world war with Russia. But anyway, so
you need to cut that out.
Well, I'm just saying. Hey, man, history. I can't help it. I've watched this happen before. It's incrementalism to full scale.
Oh, it is. It is.
Anyway, so you'll have to submit to that, just like the people now that have the chip in their wrist so they can open doors and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Yeah. What's the difference? And for that matter, how do you know when that chip's in your wrist, it's not reading your brainwave activity? And but what I like is, if you notice in the audio from the video, is like you use your brain to swipe. She's not. There's no mouse. There's no.
Oh yeah,
everything
no, you're mentally
is just
doing
mentally.
this.
You're mentally doing it. But my question was, why is she in the office?
Yeah, why do you even go?
Nobody goes to the office anymore.
There's
what
no
the
need.
hell?
They
You mean in the future they're going to come up with all this cool technology you can do from your fucking couch?
That was the problem with Minority Report, right? They went to malls. They went to the mall and walked around and bought stuff. Yeah. What, really? Your cars fly. What? I mean, you're on roads that move.
Why do you need to go to the mall? Why can't you virtually go to the mall
and just pick it?
In fact, put on your Oculus.
Then it's dropped at your door,
which will by then be like probably contact lenses. You just pop them in.
You do it, use it every day.
And you go through the mall. And it's the mall. You're actually going through the mall.
So then you're just in the Matrix and you just sit in your seat and you're just plugged up.
Who had it the worst in the Matrix? The guy eating the steak made a lot of sense. For him, like being free, everybody that was free was starving to death, and the only outlet they had for pleasure was a gigantic rave, and then have sex in a big giant orgy.
That's what they think of the poor.
The poors.
The poors.
The poors.
Okay, so.
But anyway, so
back to your surveillance brain. Well, it's just their brain. Yeah. They control everything about what you do.
No, they're not controlling what you do.
Well, they're reading. Well, they're
forcing
because
behavior.
My behavior. So they are controlling my behavior.
What happened with COVID? They forced a particular behavior by saying this, it's a carrot and a stick. Mm-hmm. You cannot continue working here if you don't go get. So years ago, and you think, well, we've never faced anything like COVID before. Oh no, that couldn't possibly, have made this happen.
H1N1 virus has made thousands of people across the country sick. Many have died, and some worrying that it could grow into a full-blown pandemic. Well, one state, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, is preparing for that with a very controversial bill. Massachusetts proposing legislation that would allow police to forcefully quarantine residents and even impose martial law without a warrant.
Back now with two quick updates on a story that began this broadcast last night, the predicted quick and rapid spread of swine flu in this country and around the world. The U.S. military considering a plan that could establish regional military teams to assist civilian authorities in the event of a major outbreak of the virus this fall.
Now, what do you think of the vaccination?
I have more concern about the vaccine than I do about the swine flu. It's been rushed to market. There are high levels of adjuncts, which basically make it more potent, so they can, it's kind of an unrefined method that they use.
See, okay, that was 2009.
Well, in the 1980s, AIDS, they were so terrified they talked of rounding them up.
But look what they did. They were talking about building camps and having the army come in, but it was easier to force companies, if they wanted government money, this is how the government did it. They didn't coerce anybody with force. They coerced them with dollars.
With finance.
And you make your people get vaccines, or you won't get this STEMI money.
Yeah, your state won't get your road funds.
Well, and companies too. Companies could apply for PPP funds,
and
or
they did in droves.
Lots of companies that didn't even exist applied for it.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the point. Now you've got the issue where we know that the government will not gain the trust of the American public again.
No.
It's not going to go back.
I don't think it has it now.
And I don't think it's even going to balance out. No, that's the point, is the kid, you survey our students and they'll tell you they don't trust the government and their parents don't trust the government. So at what point does the government realize that they'll never gain that trust again and decide that they do need a system of...
Well, maybe that's the breakdown in society right now as far as lawlessness goes. It's the same thing. Not only do you not trust the government, we see now that the government effectively is powerless.
So then that leads to fewer people wanting to become, police officers.
Sure.
And if you have fewer people doing
and people
those
who are
jobs,
willing to break little laws, lots of little laws. Certain things are more of a problem than they've ever been. And
so how does society balance that with technology? We get little robotic spiders and little drones that fly around and run around and police us.
That's actually one of the creepiest things in Minority Report.
It is.
The little spider drones.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where they're doing eye scans on everybody in the building.
Yeah.
And you have to sit still for it.
Yeah, you better.
Or they'll zap you.
Yes. Yes. It was terrifying.
And they used collars. Oh, and I like
the little halos.
The 6 sticks.
The 6 sticks.
Make you throw up. Not a shock. It just makes you retch.
Yeah.
Which maybe actually
they projectile vomited.
Considering what happens to some people who get arrested now, maybe that's a better choice.
Well, okay, that maybe it actually causes a heart attack or.
Well, I'd hate to be arrested though for something that I'm being told I'm going to do.
Yeah,
and it hasn't even entered my brain
and I
yet.
haven't done it. Yeah.
Well, it hadn't even occurred to me.
No. Well,
you're going to do it though.
Wasn't that Tom Cruise through the movie? I'm never going to kill somebody.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not.
Hey, man, spoilers.
Oh, well, you know what? Anybody that saw it would know immediately the plot line.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's definitely going to kill him.
Absolutely. You know who the bad guy is within seconds.
Oh, yeah. Well,
as soon as you meet him.
You heard his voice. A
as
lot
soon
of
as you
people
meet
probably
him,
recognize the voice of the actor.
Well, he's always the bad guy.
Exactly. He's like, it's him.
It's Baron Harkonnen, man.
It's him. He's the traitor. He's going to kill you.
Look, anytime Baron Harkonnen shows up in a movie, he's the bad guy.
He's the bad guy. Exactly. So there is something to be said for looks do tell you something.
Yeah, but Luckily, none of that could possibly happen now. There's no way they can use any kind of technology to curtail people's freedom.
Well, they do it all the time.
No.
Yes, of course they do.
No, they don't.
Of course they do. You've got examples?
This morning, the owner of 2 of the most famous venues in New York is under scrutiny for using facial recognition technology to deny entry to certain people. New York Attorney General Letitia James has sent a letter to MSG Entertainment, owner of Madison Square Garden and Radio City Music Hall, requesting information about its use of the technology.
Your ticket is not valid.
Multiple lawyers who are already involved in litigation against MSG say the company used facial recognition to bar them from events. Larry Hutcher says his Knicks season tickets were revoked last year after MSG removed his colleague from a game at Madison Square Garden. At the time, Hutcher's law firm represented ticket resellers who were suing MSG.
There is no rational, legal, moral, or any explanation that you could give that would justify the action that Madison Square Garden has taken.
Kelly Conlon says she tried to attend a Rockettes show around the holidays, but she says the venue scanned her face and stopped her from entering. Her firm happened to be working a case against one of MSG's restaurants. James writing, MSG Entertainment cannot fight their legal battles in their own arenas. A representative for MSG said the policy does not unlawfully prohibit anyone from entering our venues. We are merely excluding a small percentage of lawyers only during active litigation. But the practice is raising ethical and legal questions with potential ripple effects far beyond New York.
It is very dystopian. It is very 1984-ish. How far is this technology going to go that people are going to be able to use this type of technology to take action that is clearly not what it was originally intended? It's frightening.
Yeah, you think? But notice, you know what the hardest thing for that story for me is that I have to be on the side of lawyers.
Right.
They're the good guys in this story.
Well, that's the point. You don't ever know when they're the good guys or the bad guys.
But the other thing is Madison Square Garden, or the company that owns it, I forget the name of it. I think it's MSG Incorporated or something, but they also own the Radio City Music Hall and a couple other places.
So that they've got a wide reach in that area.
And they've got lots of restaurants under their umbrella. Mm-hmm. So if you're involved in litigation, even if you're a secretary at a law firm that's involved in litigation, they won't let you in. But here's the question. One, what are you doing with my face after you scan it?
Well, that you do that at the airport.
The airport's different. That's a federal government
you're doing it for your
This is
passport.
a private company that now has my facial image and can sell it to anyone. Mm-hmm. That's nonsense. That belongs to me.
Well, but how do you control that?
Well, you have to go to court, don't you?
Well,
that's what's happening now. Everybody. Well, at least the people who got screwed are lawyers, so we know it'll go to court.
So, on the good side of this technology, you could use that to keep people from getting into a school.
That's again government. A school is government. Mm-hmm. We're talking about an entity that is a private. But
if the program is out there,
for instance,
they're going to use it.
For instance, how far are we from JCPenney's? A guy shoplifted when he was 16. Mm-hmm. Now he's 18. Did his 6 months in juvie, whatever, and he walks to the door and they're like, beep, 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 sir, you can't come in here.
Sure.
What? Well, you committed shoplifting. When I was a juvenile. Well, you did do that, sir. Well, those records are not even public. Well, we have that information because
you were arrested in our store.
And so they could use that for anything. How long
you're worried about the slippery slope again?
Again, yes.
It's always
How about shoplifting at a place that sells food?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sir, you can't come in here and buy nourishing food because you shoplifted here,
okay,
or even worse.
You're going to have to move.
Look what Madison Square Garden did. They took away a guy's season tickets because of the guy he was with. He didn't even do anything. He was just with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you can't come in here.
Guilt by association.
To buy food.
Guilt by association is real.
Because your son committed shoplifting 6 years ago. So, ma'am, you're not allowed to shop in here anymore.
And then, of course, your credit score will be bad, and you won't be able to buy anything, and
and now
they'll manufacture a resume on you.
And don't forget your environmental social governance score.
Well, exactly.
How much carbon are you emitting while attempting to get into this store?
Okay. All right, that's too much.
No, it's happening.
Well, that's the point. So how does that get stopped?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, see, you present it all, but then.
Well, that's the point.
So what's it all about?
You can't escape from the jail that you don't know you're in.
Oh, so you're informing the public.
That's right.
Oh, because you need them to see it. But then that's a lot of paranoia. How do you find balance?
That's not paranoia. That's fact. It's truth.
How do you find balance?
What balance?
In your mental state.
Oh.
How do you live?
Oh, I realize that I personally can't do anything about it.
So you just
I'm doing what I can
by
do.
Spreading the terror.
Yes.
And putting it all in one place so that's what
journalism used to
be about. Absolutely.
Before they all decided that everything had to do with climate. Everything.
Or that it all had to do with the almighty dollar and you better make money in your news department.
Climate.
We've had that conversation.
It's almighty dollar.
Because we both recognized it.
That's right.
Yes. Oh, shit. What's this going to lead to?
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Absolutely. That's what it's going to lead to.
I saw a cartoon today, and it was the first guy who ever tried to sell Adderall to pharmaceutical companies. He's just standing in front of a clipboard, and it says, meth for kids. Oh, and you see all of them smiling like, hey.
Oh, God. Nice.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
That's crazy.
Oh, my Lord. So, okay. So anyway, enough about the future and
well, but it's here.
It's here.
Your
It's
point.
happening.
Yes. Okay.
And Minority Report was dead on. And,
absolutely. And you know what they need to do? They need to do an updated RoboCop.
They did. It was horrible.
It was bad. They need to do a real one.
No, they need to redo Soylent Green.
Oh, yeah. That's
Do you know in the original book of Soylent Green, there's nothing in there about eating people?
Really?
Yep.
So sensationalism for entertainment?
No, they just changed the story.
Yeah, for sensationalism,
sure.
for effect.
It's a story of Hollywood. I mean, they do it all the time. Minority Report, they added a lot of stuff in the movie
wasn't in
that wasn't in the book.
Absolutely.
But Steven Spielberg's created
You know,
that way.
but thinking about movies like that where food, our future, you know, we've talked about bugs, we talked about food already in one episode, and you can't not talk about food because food is awesome.
Oh, I didn't get the clip
story
about the plastic. They want to turn plastic
Well, I
into
know,
food.
and that's what made me think of it. I remember you telling me that, and you don't even have the story?
I don't have it.
Oh, damn you.
It was a clip.
Oh, another clip. You're clip happy today, G Long. No, this is bio-designer food that they're creating with microalgae. So, but it looks like plastic. It looks amazing. It's really like something you'd get.
That's what I think when I see
Noma.
plastic. That looks delicious.
And some of them look like vaginas. Have you seen?
You don't show me.
No, I am.
You can't. You can't move your computer. It'll make noise and stuff.
I'm going to show you.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's 3 vaginas on a
see,
plate.
Down at the bottom, right? The little clam-looking things. Okay, microalgae.
I think we're all aware.
Microalgae. No, there's one more picture you've got to see.
Oh, no. Is it going to look like a flesh-colored cucumber? Because then I'm going to be really upset.
No, but they're making it really cool looking here. Okay, you ready?
No.
Don't blurt it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Are those...
It's food. It's microalgae.
No.
Yeah.
Those are...
I know. That's what I thought,
Those
too.
are beads.
Those are beads.
Overly large beads.
That look... Yeah.
That look like they should be inserted...
somewhere.
Into an orifice of some sort.
Okay, so...
That's food, huh?
That's food. See, if we had a camera, I could have shown the camera the images.
We could have actually shown that. Well,
although maybe we can't show it. I don't know. Anyway,
we can show it.
They are designing food from microalgae, and they're working on flavors and getting that right. And they're super, super packed with proteins and fatty acids and vitamins and minerals. And they're going to just make their miracle food. And they look like plastic stuff.
Anal beads.
Well, those did look like anal beads, yeah. They look like a variety of things, but that's the point. They're trying to also make them decorative.
That's a future conversation,
so
right?
at least it's not like, wait.
My God, the anal beads are so expensive. What's happened? Well, we had to cull a bunch of butts so we couldn't have the anal beads anymore.
What's the train movie with the gel bars?
Oh, the cold Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer, yeah. So it's
bug bars.
But in this case, it's going to be stuff from algae.
Well, better than bugs.
Better than bugs.
I guess. I don't know.
I said, they're making it appetizing looking because they're making it so cool. It's like,
but that was the problem in Soylent Green. If you recall, there were other colors in the movie.
Yeah.
There's Soylent Red and Soylent Blue, and those were all made from plankton and algae.
And if they're going to give us something like that, at least make it look pretty good. I
like the chicken in the vat. They take cells from chickens and then they, I don't know, use some kind of wizardry and make it start growing. They use stem cells somehow.
Yeah.
Probably from aborted babies, who knows. And
shut up.
Anyway, they cause it to grow muscle. They're basically growing muscle.
Okay, and that's what we want to eat?
Correct. Yeah. The biggest hindrance to this currently is that once it's cooked, it doesn't look like muscle because it doesn't bleed. But what they've decided,
so now they have to
what they've decided is the beef won't work because they have to use a juice to color it to make it look like beef.
Okay.
But chicken,
they can do.
Chicken's a different story. So now they're working on the chicken and they've approved it. It's going to happen. We're going to get lab-grown meat.
So then what happens to chicken farmers?
No, the question
we
is,
still need eggs.
Our bodies were designed
to have.
And I don't want to get all metaphysical and religious here, but God designed us to eat and consume certain things. And if you grow meat in a lab, how am I to know that the things
is giving me the nutritional value I need,
or it's not doing some kind of damage? Because
we never know. But that's all this shit they've been giving us for years, dear.
Well, I know
we don't. Yeah. Oh, look, she died. She had plastic in her blood or plastic in her.
Oh, they're
organs.
also doing that. They've discovered.
Oh, good Lord.
They've discovered that, and I can get the clip for next time. They've discovered.
No, next time I'm having a guest, and it's going to be an all-girls show.
Yeah, I'm getting kicked out of my own studio.
Yes, and you can save your damn clip for some other terrorizing episode of all the crap that's happening that we should know.
Okay.
Because it's coming.
The apocalypse.
It's here and it's coming. The technology. No, it's just, ultimately it's just going to be some sort of melded version of digital human. That's what we're going to be.
What I was going to say was with the plastics, they've learned now how to break plastic down and somehow make it consumable by humans. But in the story, what they don't do is bother to address the fact that plastic is made from basically oil, dead dinosaurs, right? I mean, plastic, PVC, vinyl. I'm sure vinyl chloride cannot be good for you.
That's not the kind they're talking about. Perhaps
they
you just
said
don't.
Plastics. They didn't get into. But that's the scary part. They didn't get into detail.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right? It's like when we all found out that cellulose was in food, and we're like, cellulose? What's that? This guy points out that's tree. It's grass.
Well, we're being vegan then, I guess.
Yeah, eventually we'll all be vegan.
That's it.
And you got the Dutch people getting rid of their farms.
Yeah, that's a
place famous
terrifying.
for cheese, and they're going to get rid of their cows unless Bill Gates solves the problem of cow burps.
Well, maybe Bill Gates can just go buy all their farmland.
Bill Gates just recently invested billions of dollars in a company that has been researching how to make cows fart and burp less because methane is so bad for the environment. And you know how they do it?
No.
Seaweed.
Wouldn't you think that would make you belch more?
It turns out that if you feed cows seaweed with their regular food, and of course, I mean, cows have been foraging in the oceans for years.
I was going to say, cows naturally don't eat seaweed.
Well, they naturally do if you force it down their throat.
I don't see them on the beach walking along.
But that's not what they're doing. They don't want to feed cows seaweed. They want to figure out the chemical components in the seaweed that make the cows so they can inject it into them.
Continue to get seaweed.
But the point is, seaweed is full of iodine.
They want synthetic seaweed.
What if iodine is the reason? Well, then they're going to start shooting cows up with lots of iodine? Is that good?
Well, just give it a little time and the science will change.
I'm old, and thank God. Yeah. I don't want to be a part of this. It's ludicrous, some of the stuff. Science is...
Yeah,
you just need to trust the science. If you just trust the science, everything will be fine.
What we learned was if you trust the science today, it will change tomorrow. That's what we learned.
I don't trust the science any more than I trust the government. Okay,
then I'm taking it right back to that same idea. The government has to do something once they, as an entity, and we're talking about, I guess, the government as a deciding body, a living, breathing thing. Who makes all the? It's not just one government.
It's the intelligence.
It's not just one government. That's the problem too.
Shadow government.
It's all governments, right?
The Illuminati.
Yes, they're all coming
and the Masons.
together, and they know.
And the Trilateral Commission.
We've gone past the tipping point.
And the Pentaverate.
We didn't even finish that.
I know, it's pretty bad.
They've all come together and they've made these decisions, and once they realize that we've gone past the tipping point, and they will never get the majority back. For trust, right? To be able to push anything on us and have us actually willingly
except for people who live in New York and LA, apparently, who think the government's just the bee's knees.
It's the same thing with the pharmaceutical companies. Once they decide, okay, we're past the tipping point, we can't just keep giving them crap. They're not taking it anymore, right? Like society doesn't trust them enough.
Back to universal basic income.
So what? We have to use our little income to buy pharmaceuticals? Or are we getting that for free? Because I don't think they're going to give it to us for free.
So which came first? During the pandemic, everybody was getting stimmies, right? Little stimmy checks.
Yeah.
Crime had not skyrocketed like it did when everything ended. So maybe the way to stop crime is to simply just hand out stimmy checks.
Well, is that it, or was it that we had more police officers then, and the whole reputation?
Look, I'm just asking questions.
Well, so that might be part of it, and part of it may just be that now our police forces have been decimated because of the trust issue.
Or did people use their stimmy checks to buy lots of ammo?
Or podcast equipment.
No, that's crazy talk. Who would do something like that?
No, I went back and looked at the website today, and I went down and I opened up and loaded every single podcast that was on there all the way down to the beginning, so I could kind of remember some of the topics.
On the episodes page?
Yeah, so I could see all of the topics. It's like, what have we talked about?
We talked about a lot.
We've talked about a lot. We talk a lot. And then got to the very bottom, and of course it was all, June 2020 is the start.
That was the beginning.
Oh, yes. It's all 2020. Back when we were so naive and scared.
I wasn't scared.
But as time goes by, society.
I've never been scared of the COVID, really.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
It's easy to be brave now.
We got it. We got it.
I know.
We had a flu. Okay, in November of 2019, we had a flu that darn near killed us. I don't know if it was COVID. They didn't have a test for it then. It could have been. But who knows?
I don't care.
Wet market indeed.
I don't care no more.
I don't care anymore.
Okay. So lab-grown microalgae, look into it. They're lovely pictures. They're thinking probably around 2050, and a German is working on redesigning it for a makeover.
So it doesn't look like anal beads.
Well, yeah. She said, or maybe it's a he. I don't know if I can't tell by the name. There's already interest in the nutritional part, but how can we actually get people to eat it? Oh, it is a she.
Yeah, because it looks like anal beads. Exactly.
You saw it had different.
Why is it all weirdly shaped? What I saw were anal beads, vaginas, and I don't know what that other stuff was.
Yeah. Well, these look like little clear pea pod.
Yeah, what is that? That just goofy looking, and it's glowing.
Well, it's being made by a German, so.
It's probably plankton that puts out light.
A German Glenn.
And if we start eating the plankton and the fungi,
yes,
or the fun guy, and he's got anal beads, so he probably is. What about the animals that eat that?
I don't know. Are we messing up that and causing an imbalance in that system? Absolutely, it's possible. That's what humans do. We throw things out of balance, and then we work to try to bring it back into balance. I think, you know what? There's the lesson. The only thing you can really do is try to find balance for you.
For yourself.
Individual and your family.
And find that which gives you balance.
Yes. And when you're out of balance and you feel the stress, try to bring it back.
Because I was asked recently, it's like, how do you stay unstressed? It's like, because I simply refuse to allow it now. I'm just not going to allow the stress. I'm just not doing it. I'm not engaging in that way. I will look at the problems and go, wow, that's a serious problem. But if it's not affecting me, I'm not engaging about it. It's just like talking about abortion. From now on, I will not discuss it.
You're not coming.
I'm just not going to discuss it.
You know what? The crossing over the states that want to make it illegal for a woman to leave the state.
I'll talk about that.
You know what? In that story, that's going to ultimately be the same kind of
facial recognition.
Well, facial recognition or some sort of mind read to know there's your intent. So your intent is to cross this border and have a
ma'am, I can see you're trying to leave Illinois to go into
Missouri.
And
I can tell you're pregnant.
And what I need to do is go ahead and scan you. Ma'am, you're pregnant. You can't leave Illinois.
You're not allowed to leave, because if they pass that law, how else are they going to police that?
Yeah.
You've got to, if you want to pass laws, you're going to have to come up with ways to effectively police them. Otherwise, it's a joke.
And so for all the people out there who think that you've saved all these lives, what you've effectively done is put us into more of a prison within our country, because in order to enforce these laws, you're going to have to increase.
Take our freedoms away.
Yes, and you're going to have to take away our freedoms.
Okay, but if we get a murder-free city, isn't that worth it?
Precogs.
That might be worth it. You know, they have the stick in that show in Minority Report to change his face too.
Yeah,
it looked extremely painful.
It was kind of cool though.
It was very painful.
All right.
I didn't like the fact that they had regular watches too.
That was weird.
That was like the mall. Like, really, you're going to go?
Really, watches?
And they have flying cars and jetpacks, and I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the watch?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Okay.
All right. So I have a story to wrap up.
Okay. Yeah, we should.
It's a nice Louisiana story.
Oh, no.
Oh, it is.
I thought we were ending on a nice note.
It is a nice note.
I don't trust you.
It's about a place we've talked about, Grand Isle, Louisiana.
Oh, all right. Tell us about Grand Isle.
Well, in Grand Isle, Louisiana, there is a man by the name of Mr. Brunette or Brunet. I don't know what he goes by.
2 T's at the end.
But he had to go to trial to vindicate his constitutional rights recently.
How was he violated?
And, well, apparently he has on his truck a "Fuck Joe Biden" flag. Okay. And he also has something on his truck that says, "and anyone who voted for him."
Oh, okay. So he took it personal.
He was repeatedly ticketed, detained, and criminally charged for flying the flags "Fuck Joe Biden" on his pickup truck.
Because of the language of obscenity?
He claims in the lawsuit that he has now filed that his flags are protected by the First Amendment. In violation of long-established law, the town has routinely detained, cited, and forced Mr. Brunet to go to trial to vindicate his constitutional rights, taking the extraordinary step of adopting a boldly unconstitutional local ordinance to silence him. Brunet, a contractor who works throughout southern Louisiana, says in the filing that he is repeatedly targeted by the town of Grand Isle for the content of several signs that he keeps displayed in his pickup truck. The flags that read "Fuck Joe Biden" and "Fuck you for voting for him" being 2 of them. The suit alleges that Brunet was arrested 4 times in 2021 by a local police officer.
Oh, a single, okay.
For display of patently obscene words, photos, or depictions. Well,
that's what I was thinking.
Under Louisiana's anti-obscenity law.
Obscenity law, sure.
Brunet successfully defended himself against the charges in court, arguing that his flags are protected political speech, not obscenity. Louisiana law defines obscenity as content which, when applying contemporary standards, appeals to the prurient interest and the hardcore sexual conduct and is presented in a patently offensive way, and the conduct taken as a whole lacks literary, artistic, political, or scientific value.
Oh, but it has political
value. Clearly has political value.
Because it triggered that cop. It triggered the cop.
The lawsuit claims that despite being found not guilty of all charges, he was told after court by an official of the town, he won't name
them,
"Don't do that again."
Okay.
Despite his victory, the suit claims Brunet was again cited for obscenity 3 more times by the same officer.
God.
While Brunet was waiting his court date to again argue against the charges, the Grand Isle local government passed an ordinance in August of 22 ordering that signs on vehicles shall not contain language deemed offensive and vulgar nor obscene in nature and cannot contain language that describes a sex act.
But it's not a sex act. He's using the term in a different way.
In court, the city attorney even allegedly showed Brunet the newly passed ordinance and said, "We've got you now."
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay.
On Tuesday, he filed suit again, alleging, among other claims, the town is violating his First Amendment rights, false arrest, and malicious prosecution. The suit also challenges the constitutionality of the ordinance. And this is what the lawyer says. Because of defendant's actions, Mr. Brunette's speech has in fact been chilled. He is fearful of and refrains from engaging in his protected political speech in Grand Isle out of fear of the government punishment, or further retaliatory action. The local ordinance is clearly unconstitutional because it is content-based discrimination against certain types of speech. So the ordinance prohibits display of certain speech, offensive speech, which is not defined by the statute. So his point, or his lawyer's point, is that even though you may find it distasteful, you have no right to sanction him because what he is saying is protected. Mm-hmm. Ideas, and can we just say thank you, lawyers, for this? Ideas that some people might find offensive are sometimes at the core of political debate and political conversation. And for that reason, we value and protect free exchange of ideas and free speech, even when some listeners might find those ideas offensive.
Yes, indeed.
Couldn't say it better.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
You may not like what you're hearing, but you can always walk away.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what it is, obscene or otherwise.
As he's driving through town.
And it's balance.
Yes, it's balance.
And here's this cop. Now, he's cited him 7 times.
Oh, good God.
One cop.
One guy.
Because he doesn't like that nasty word.
No. I'm assuming he voted for Joe Biden.
Let me see if I can look up the cop's name.
Okay.
Wow, that's weird.
You're done.
Most people don't have a first name twice. Right?
No. Are you kidding me?
Officer Karen.
No. Shut up.
Fished in.
Set up. Yeah, I agree. I give you that one.
Thank you.
So, well, you know what? Later, when technology comes along, he can just send a little drone to burn that flag up.
Oh, that's a video.
Yeah.
I showed Deb a very disturbing video.
Yeah, it was
today
very disturbing.
with little drones. If you'd like the URL of the disturbing video, just email me at Long
and
the
you'll
Boot,
send the link to some poor soul who was going to spend 7 minutes in terror.
Oh, yeah.
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 Because the whole time,
It's coming. It's coming.
it is.
Autonomous AI drones, no human control at all.
Yeah. All right.
And they can kill. Yay!
Just saying, yes. Dear, that's not where you needed to take it. You were going to leave it on free speech. Is an autonomous drone free speech?
It is for somebody.
Somebody's
saying something.
Well.
Anyway, so there you go. In the Axe Theater is not haunted. So even though they tried to make out like it was haunted. I read a story this week.
Oh, okay. I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, it was the apparently this guy is called the Candy Man. He was an old guy that
sold
named Porty,
candy and
William Porty.
Okay.
And he died in a fire in 1952, and supposedly he's still there. And there's a video where the guys that are investigating the ghost, they're like, listen. And it shows you underneath the subtitles, it's like, like get out or something. And all you hear is like,
but the ghost is saying get out.
Yeah,
okay.
You can clearly.
All right. Let these people go. Goodness.
Okay. It's a nasty day outside.
It is a dreary Louisiana
I'd like
day.
to say get out and enjoy the day, but
yeah.
if you do, take an umbrella. Oh, it's Sunday. They won't hear this till Wednesday.
That's true.
But by Wednesday, I think it's going to be raining
I think
again.
it'll rain on Thursday. We're going to get rain again.
Oh, okay.
We are a marshy state.
Mushy.
Mushy, marshy.
You said marshy.
State.
It's mushy.
It's both. It's both.
Mushy and marshy.
Yes. All right.
I knew them. Sisters, Mushy and Marshy.
Try not to let it get you down, people.
Don't you have a thing you say about it?
I do. Are you ready? All right. Their joy is portable.
What's that?
Their joy, your happiness, it's portable.
Whose?
Everybody's.
Everybody's?
They have to find it.
All of
Take
them?
it with them. Don't lose it.
Put it in a sack?
Put it in a sack and stuff it with your sorries and just shake it up.
There you go.
There you go. Have fun.
Always look on the bright side of life, I believe is what I'd say.
All right.
Do I have to sing it?
Please don't.
Okay.
Bye.